Ross Tucker, as we get ready for the month off, right? Next week, mandatory mini camps, and then everyone cancels the final day of mandatory mini camp and school's out for summer for exactly 1 month. What is, and I'm going to give you off-season topic bar, cliched, 101 here. What is the most intriguing OTA storyline for you, Ross Tucker?
Honestly, it's probably still when will Aaron Rodgers sign with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I know people are probably sick of talking about it, but the whole situation to me is fascinating. You're talking about, guys, one of the best quarterbacks we've ever seen, all right? By multiple accounts, he wanted to sign with the Vikings, who, by the way, tried to re-sign Sam Darnold. Then it got to a certain amount. They said no. Tried to sign Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones said, I think I got a better chance in Indy. So he went there. Even the Steelers, okay, where Rodgers is going to sign, Andrew, they tried to get Matthew Stafford. And I know you know that, okay? Then they tried to get then they tried to keep Fields. Then they tried to get Darnold, right? So imagine being Aaron Rodgers and the Vikings wanted guys like Sam Darnold and Daniel Jones, but didn't want you. And the Steelers, where you're presumably going to sign, they tried to get guys like Justin Fields and Sam Darnold before they wanted you. I mean, it's got to be really humbling. Maybe it's not for him. I don't know. It would be humbling for me. And I think maybe it's one of the reasons, one of many, that he's still waiting to sign with them, as everybody expects that he will, is that he wants to still show he has some power, he has some leverage. It's funny because I can go both ways on this, right? On the one hand, as a 7-year journeyman offensive lineman, man, I'm jealous that he can just sign whenever he wants to and skip the whole offseason program. Like, that actually sounds kind of cool. On the other hand, he just can't. To me, it's not a really good argument for him this year to suggest at any point that he really cares about winning or cares about how this season goes. I mean, it's a new offense. It's, new skill guys. So if he does ultimately sign with the Steelers, like everyone expects will happen, we'll just watch next year, in September when he says to the receiver, oh, you do this, do that. Well, why are you going that way or this way, right? Well, maybe they could have worked that out in May or June when he wasn't there.
It's interesting, and I'm glad you brought up that angle. Ross Tucker here, Ross Tucker NFL, the Ross Tucker Football Podcast. I think he wanted to go to the Rams, number one. I mean, first and foremost, Rams, then Vikings. Rams didn't happen. Rams would have been easy if Stafford went elsewhere. If they decided to move on from Matthew, he could just take, Las Virgenes or Topanga up every morning from Malibu, and it's an easy commute. Makes sense. Sean McVay, you got the weapons. It's fun. I wonder, Ross, if he is in any way, this is just pure speculation, apprehensive about being embraced by the Steelers fan base. Because I don't know if you notice this on your socials. Whenever I post anything about him on mine, I get a lot of pushback from Steeler fans online saying we don't want him. Now, a lot of fans do because they also realize he's probably their best shot this year at this point, right? And they've seen Mason Rudolph. We'd rather have Aaron Rodgers, at least see how it goes. But a lot of Steeler fans, I don't think are ready to embrace him. And I wonder if that factors here.
I think it does. I mean, there's a couple things, right? He has said publicly that he has personal stuff going on or people within his inner circle. I guess I would just submit to you, he's not the only player, right, that has people in their inner circle that are going through something right now. I think, number one, he doesn't want to be there for the offseason program. He's 41 and he doesn't want to have to go to Pittsburgh, for stuff that he thinks is pointless. If you remember, Andrew, the last CBA, he was pushing hard for you to not have to do anything in the offseason till training camp, right? Like, he was one of those guys, he really wanted the full 6-7 months off before training camp to have that time. I think he doesn't think there's a whole lot of point to it and doesn't want to really be there. And there probably is some truth to the consternation regarding the Steelers fan base. Listen, I live in central Pennsylvania. I know a lot of Steelers fans. Nobody wants him. Nobody wants him, right? Like the way they look at it is he's not that good anymore. We're still not going to beat the Bills or the Chiefs or the Ravens or insert team here in the playoffs. So what's the point? To maybe win 9 or 10 games again and maybe have a first round exit again? Steelers fans are kind of losing their patience with that. You know, other organizations would love to have a winning record every year and win double-digit games and make playoff appearances. That is not how they're wired in Pittsburgh. They have not won a playoff game since 2016. Most fans I talk to, and it's surprising to hear this given the track record of that organization, but they'd rather just go with Mason Rudolph or Will Howard. And if they lose a bunch of games, they lose a bunch of games. But at least it's a team that they'll be willing to cheer for. And if they lose a bunch of games, then maybe they can get their heir apparent to Ben Roethlisberger that they obviously did not have waiting in the wings.
Yeah, we're always picking 20 and 21, which is a horrible place to be if you're always looking, or if you're still trying to find your next quarterback.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.